Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. I had a friend I still have him, he's a good friend, don't get me wrong. He keeps bugging me to talk about Bigfoot. And I talked about Bigfoot and UFOs before, and then ended up where the Navy announced the UFOs are real, so I was able to do a lot more on UFOs, and that was cool. But he's still on me. I got to talk about Bigfoot. You got to talk about Bigfoot, man. So instead of talking about Bigfoot, I'm going to do unexplained phenomenons, and I'm going to talk about all cryptids. For those of you who don't know, a cryptid is a mysterious animal, an unexplained. There's a family of zoologists called cryptozoologists, and they hunt for new or undocumented species, I guess would be the best way to put it. And cryptids include all manner of unexplained critters, including Bigfoot. Now, before we get too in depth into the different sightings, I want to explain something. People are seeing these things, and they nobody can explain them. And if it was just one or two people seeing them, it wouldn't be that big a deal. Or if it was some bozo drunk or whatever, it wouldn't be that big a deal. But thousands of people are seeing these things every year, and these people are credible. They're credible people. They're not making it up. Most of them aren't making any money off of it. It's not like they're. It's not like they're. If it's a hoax, it's well organized and well planned and well executed. You know. And these people are not making. Like I said, these people are making money, and I'm not saying any of these things are real. I'm not going in. I'm not jumping on that boat. However, I'm standing at the docks and I'm saying there's something to that. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Because there's so many of these things being seen, so many of them with credible observers. They can't all be crazy. I mean, there's something to this. All right, everybody knows about Bigfoot. Huge hominid. They're big hairy hominids. Some of them are little hairy hominids. But these things are seen on every continent around the world. Some little islands out in the Pacific. They're seen in England. They're seen in Europe, Russia. They're literally all over the world. Okay. If this is a hoax, it's a hell of a hoax, and it's been around for at least 6,000 years. There was a really great researcher named Lloyd Pye who did a lot of good research on that, and there's been many others. A lot of really big name zoologists are involved in this, and like I said, they call it cryptozoology. But Bigfoot isn't the only one. All around the world, they're seeing lake monsters of various kinds. Loch Ness monster is one of them. It looks like a long eel-looking thing. Lake Champlain here in America. And again, there's lake monsters all over the world. It's not just isolated incidents. They're literally everywhere. There's something called a let me get this right. Chupacabra. It's in the Americas and in Puerto Rico. It means goat sucker. This thing apparently sucks the blood out of goats. It's kind of a little vampiric looking. I don't know what you want to call it. All around the world, including usually in swamps, they're reporting reptoids or lizard men. There's a very famous researcher named David Icke who, this is going to sound weird, he has a lot of fantastic claims, and a lot of his claims are really out there. Let's not mince words about that. He comes across as kind of crazy, but some of the stuff that he talks about when you're talking about government conspiracies and things like that, some of it kind of holds water. So he's not completely discounted, and he has a huge following. So, I'm not disparaging the man, but he has this idea that some sort of reptilian aliens are running the world, and I don't know. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. I'm just saying that's what he thinks, and it kind of goes in with this lizard man reptoid cryptid sightings. They're seen in swamps all over the world. So, excuse me. I do not have the coronavirus. It's a smoker's cough. Okay. I like cigars. Okay. Winged creatures all over the world, especially the Jersey Devil, the Mothman, and out in the Midwest they have the Thunderbird, and big bird-looking creatures. They're seen in the Old West. They've been seen for hundreds of years. It's not a lot of people give descriptions of what resembles something like a pterosaur, some sort of a dinosaur, big reptilian bird. So, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm just telling you what they're saying. And if, like I said, if one or two people had seen these, it wouldn't be that big a deal. But thousands of sightings all throughout the year, every year. At some point, you got to say, well, maybe there's something to it, In South America, China, Cambodia, Australia, and Africa, they are seeing dinosaurs, raptors, and pterodactyls. There are people who claim that all dinosaurs are extinct. Well, the crocodiles have not changed in millions of years. They're essentially small dinosaurs. They thought the coelacanth was extinct for 65 million years, and then it turns out they're catching them off the coast of Africa fairly regularly. These people that are seeing them in South America, China, Cambodia, Australia, Africa, these are credible people, and they're not all, superstitious tribesmen. We're talking credible, college-educated people are seeing these things. So, if it's a hoax, it's a hell of a hoax. All around the world, people are seeing large canines, big felines, cats and dogs, huge cats and dogs. All across America, and I might be overseas as well. They're seeing what they call, it's kind of like a wolf man kind of thing. I forget what they call it. They have a word for it. But it's like a big wolf walking around, like a werewolf, for lack of a better word. People are seeing these things, and the Bray, I want to say it's called the Bray Road Monster or something like that. And they're all over. So people are seeing these things, and it's not, again, I'm not saying these things are real. What I'm saying is people are reporting them at rates that we cannot ignore. And these people are not all crazy. They can't all be crazy. They can't all be on drugs, and they can't all be drunk. If one of them is a hoax, if they're all hoaxes except for one, and that one is real, we've got something. In Africa, and all across the South Pacific, in Vietnam, and right here in the United States, people are reporting enormous spiders, big spiders. Some of them big spiders. Okay. Again, I don't know if that's, again, I'm not saying any of this is real, but people are reporting them, and I figured I'd include them in this because people say, well, I don't believe in Bigfoot. Well, you don't have to. Nobody's saying you have to. But if a Bigfoot should walk by your window and look in at you, what are you going to say then? I'm saying we don't know. All across the world, people are reporting sea serpents, like the Loch Ness Monster, but out in the ocean. Big sea serpents. Like, there was a report in or around World War I of a large reptilian serpent-like creature that came up out of the water and sunk a boat. And it was witnessed by a Nazi, or not a Nazi, but a World War I U-boat and a submarine, and the captain actually put it in his log. So, are these things real? I don't know. But discounting anything is the first step in ignorance. People said that mankind started 5,000 years ago or whatever, and now we found Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, that religious site I talked about in the other videos. We found that religious site in Turkey that's 11,500 years. It pushes back the dawn of man something like 11,000 years earlier on this planet, and scientists don't know. That's the whole point of the field of cryptology. We don't know. And so I've talked about all these, and again, I'm not saying any of this is real, but people are reporting them, and if people are seeing them, there must be something to it somewhere. You folks have a good day. And by the way, if you've seen something like this, leave a comment. I'm sure people would love to hear it. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.